Rob, we're back on the road again today, aren't we? We're out and about.
Super excited, James. This is a good one.
Yeah, everybody, if you're wondering why we're out and about on the road again, it's because, well, a couple of things, but first and foremost, there's an exciting new yeast strain being released from our very good friends at WHC, and we wanted to celebrate it and put it to the test. So, yeah, we've got a little bit of a project.
Morning.
Hello, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
Nice to see you at Wheatlow Brewery.
Richard, absolutely delighted to be back in your most amazing man cave. Now, last time we were up here was about 8 months ago, and of course that was all about Thornbridge's Jaipur, the whole Jaipur project, and of course the Burton Union. What a great video that was.
Yeah, brilliant. Good experience, and I remember you saying you'd like to come back again, and it's great to see you here again at Wheatlow Brewery.
Well, it's fantastic to be welcomed back here, and you've had a pretty good 10-month-ish sort of run of doing your own thing, which has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's been a good adventure. I've gone down the rabbit hole of homebrewing more so than ever in the past, and I've learnt that the Union set was something that a lot of people are interested in. We've even had a journalist here from the Telegraph, Laura Hadland.
Yeah.
She came to have a look at it, and believe it or not, a beer school owner from Brazil called Jamal came all the way from Brazil to not just to see me, but he saw me whilst he was visiting historical UK breweries of interest. So it's amazing the interest that the Union set creates, really.
Well, I think it's been fantastic, and it's not just great for you and your hobby, but actually it's expanding people's knowledge across the whole of the homebrewing hobby, which is really important.
Yeah, it's amazing because I think when you're a homebrewer for many years, you perhaps have phases of enthusiasm and phases where you're not so active. And what I've learned this latest time of going mad on brewing is that there's so much material that you can learn from. There's podcasts, there's forums, there's YouTube channels like yours, Rob. And it's just, you can learn so much more about brewing, and you can improve your technique, and you can get into all sorts of different styles. You can get all the ingredients that you've ever dreamed of that you couldn't get years ago. So it's just a great time to be a home brewer, and you know, learning a lot about the hobby.
You mentioned podcasts there, Richard, and they're becoming more and more popular now. In fact, one specific one, you know, they're down to 3 members, and I think they could probably do with a 4th. What do you reckon?
Well, I had the privilege to go on the Hop Edition podcast, which, if any of you haven't seen the Hop Edition podcast, it's really good for learning, you know, perhaps more advanced stuff about brewing, and they go into very deep dives about things. And it was great to be invited onto the podcast.
You taught them a lot, I should imagine.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but what was a really sort of enjoyable thing, because I always say it's nice to get your beer out there and get it tasted, is I did send about 30 packs, 6-packs out of different beers for everyone to have a drink along with, and that was just a nice experience, getting live feedback on the comments and from the panel members as well. So yeah, really good experience, and very enjoyable.
Indeed. I absolutely can't wait to get fully immersed back into Wheatlow Brewery. We're brewing on your big kit, and we're going to be sampling some beers as well. We'll have a great day.
Hope you booked a week off, Rob, because we've got a lot of beer here.
obviously we are here because we want to spend some time together. We've had such a nice visit up last time we were here, and we wanted to come back and brew. We've had a very good reason to come back and brew, and that is this wonderful new yeast strain from WHC, which we're going to come on to shortly because we've got some special guests that are going to talk specifically about that. But let's have a dive into the recipe. What are we brewing today?
Well, it's a historic yeast, I think, from Fountainbridge in Edinburgh. So we're looking for a beer that's old, that's from Edinburgh. So we've been delving into the archives. This is the Durden Park Beer Circle recipe book. And there's a beer in here from Ushers in Edinburgh, not to be confused with Ushers of Trowbridge, which is quite an unusual beer by modern standards, I think.
It is, isn't it? We were chatting about this throughout the whole kind of build-up process, pinging recipe ideas back and forth, and this is the one we landed on because it is an interesting beer style. It's a mild, but not a mild as we might know it today, right?
No, it's not pale, it's not mildly hopped, and it's not weak. And it's called 68 shilling M, which we presume is for mild. But of course, in the old days, a mild wouldn't be as weak as it's seen as today. It just meant that it was a beer that was new and fresh and not stale, which is a word that's kind of changed its meaning in beer. But in those days, a stale beer was a matured or aged beer. And this kind of beer, mild, would be a bit fresher. But the OG on it, James, was frightened us both. I think it was 1080 OG.
We've kind of decided to pare it down a little bit, just to make it. I'm not going to use the word sessionable because that's probably being generous.
Drinkable,
yeah. Yeah. So we're shooting for a gravity today of, was it 1060?
1060 or 1063, something like that. And we expect the beer will attenuate to quite a high finishing gravity. So we think probably be about 5.86%, something like that. So not sessionable but drinkable.
Now, with all that being said, it is a relatively simple recipe, isn't it? It's not too exaggerated with its ingredients. What have we got making up the mash?
Well, it's a lot of old beers are simple, aren't they? And this is pale malt and amber malt, and about 15% amber malt. And for the pale malt, Scottish beer, we thought, and heritage beer as well, let's go for Golden Promise. So we think that's going to be a great base malt to use. And the amber malt, which we can already smell in the mash tun behind, lots of wholemeal bread, crust, toasty, sort of delicious smells wafting up from the mash tun already.
And then hop-wise, again, we've gone pretty traditional in terms of the hop selection.
Very much so, yeah. All Goldings hops, all at the beginning of the boil, and also an old-fashioned dry hop in the cask in my case, but you could do it in the fermenter as well. So yeah, all Goldings, simple beer.
And from an IBU perspective, you know, there's a lot of hops going in here. We're shooting for around about 70 IBUs, aren't we?
Yeah, well, the IBUs in the original recipe at 1080 was 90 something IBUs. So what we've done is kept the boogoo the same and sort of prorated it down. So that comes out at about 72 IBUs for this beer at the sort of 6% strength rather than the 7 or 8% strength. So it's still got a boogoo of, off the top of my head, 1.13, something like that. So it's going to be a bitter beer, really, and it's going to be a full-bodied. It's going to be something for some kind of Scottish shipyard builder that swings a sledgehammer all day and he needs to keep his strength up of an evening. I think it's going to be a fair beer.
Well, I think the original recipe as well had another name, like its more commercial name, which was like King Strong Ale or something along those lines.
Well, we'll see how you feel in the morning.
So we've teased it all the way through thus far that we are using a specific yeast strain from our very good friends over at WHC. And in fact, we've got a couple of people here from WHC who are going to tell us everything about the yeast strain. So I'll grab them, get them mic'd up, and we'll learn everything we can.
Will, Paul from WHC Labs, brilliant to see you today. Thank you very much for making the journey here to Wheatlow Brewery for this brilliant experiment.
Great, thanks to be here, thrilled to be here. We've got a brand new yeast strain to tell everybody about. We can't wait to show you.
WHC Labs are constantly coming out with new products, new innovations, and this one we're actually really excited about. So we're talking about Fountainbridge yeast. It's a dry yeast of Scottish origin. Tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, so it's a classic sort of heritage yeast style. It is dry, but we also do it in liquid as well. It's a really versatile yeast, so it gives you a clean fermentation, fast fermentation. It gives you that subtle ester profile, whilst still being a clean base to let kind of hops and malt show in classic styles. But as we like to do with a lot of our yeast strains, is give the versatility to open it up to try it on a few other beer styles as well.
Sounds like it could actually be a house strain.
I think so.
A very versatile house strain, I would suggest, yeah.
So actually, our team have been fortunate to have access to the yeast for a couple of weeks now. I've actually brewed with it myself. I made an ESB. I must say, yeah, it's a brilliant style, and it's a brilliant style for showcasing this yeast. One thing that you've already touched on, actually, it started really quickly, but fermentation was complete really quickly as well.
Yeah, totally. So far, it looks like a really, really robust yeast strain. You can put it through its paces, which we're definitely going to do today on a particularly unique piece of kit as well. So let's see what we can get out of it.
Actually, it's really exciting working with ingredient suppliers that are innovating and bringing out new products. It keeps the hobby fresh and moving forward.
We've got loads going on this year. It's a really, really exciting year of new releases ahead. The world of yeast is evolving really, really quickly. We've got some exciting hybridized yeast strains coming out in the near future, but it's also really interesting to look back in time to some of the heritage strains and see what they can do in like modern beers and modern brewing.
So actually we've got BeerX just coming up, and actually there's going to be some samples available there.
Absolutely. Stand 101, come and swing by. We've brewed a really, really exciting beer with Pilot, who are from Edinburgh, and we've got a Scotch Expo. It's tasting really, really good, so I can't wait to share that with everyone at the festival.
Plus, Richard's brewed some beers already using Fountainbridge that we're going to try later, which is going to be really good.
Yeah, we're really excited to try them here, and what a setting to do it in. Really looking forward to the day.
Right, that's all very well to stand here chatting about yeast all day, but we've got a frothy ale in the brew. We need to get it into the kettle and boil it, otherwise we'll miss happy hour because we'll still be brewing and cleaning up. So come on, crack on and get on with your job.
Let's get to work, come on then.
Right, that's the end of the boil. Whirlpool's on, and I've just sanitised the heat exchanger by putting the hot water through it. It's time to transfer it now to a unitank.
And I had a fantastic time digging out the mash tun. Actually, it's really easy on this because you've got the manway, and yeah, it's super simple.
Yeah, you've got to wheel the wheelbarrow to the farm next door for the pigs.
For the pigs, yeah, I don't mind doing that, that's fine.
It's 2 miles away.
That's my task. You trying to get rid of me?
Richard, hang on. Have you spun us a yarn? You just told us to transfer it into a unitank.
Well, you did say that you're only able to come today, but the trouble is that the union set I need to put the beer in a unitank first till the krausen forms and it gets frothing away, and then we'll transfer it to the union set in the morning. Now, that means that you'll have to stay the night, and that means that since you're staying the night and not driving, you can taste 18 beers.
Nice one, Will.
Do.
Lovely, lovely hatch.
absolutely excellent day here at Wheatlow Brewery. We're now enjoying a few beers. The brew day went brilliantly. The yeast was pitched and it is now going to be doing its job.
My pleasure.
Yeah, great job. I just can't wait to try it.
It's pity you have to. That's the only thing with beers. You have to wait 2-3 weeks for it to be ready. Such a delay, so frustrating. If only it was like Blue Peter and we'd made some earlier. Well, as it happens, a couple of weeks ago, as a precaution, I did make a batch exactly the same in the Union set, and I've also done it, which is with a dry hop. I've also done a version without a dry hop to compare the difference, and a little bit not in the Union set. So I can give you 3 tastings right here, right now at Wheatlow Brewery.
We're having a flight.
You can see what you've made today.
Excellent.
Right, gentlemen, you've got in front of you a cricket bat with 3 versions of this beer on, and we've got A, B, C. So this is A, and A is the, if you like, the standard beer that we've done, which is in the Union set and with the dry hop in the cask, a whole leaf dry hop of Goldings in the cask. And then B is standard fermentation, no dry hop, and C is Union set, no dry hop. So at least we may be able to do a comparison to see what the Union set's done or hasn't done between those two. But A is the main beer, if you like, that we've brewed today.
Great. Let's go next it. It's lovely and bright, and the colour's lovely.
And the head's holding lovely, nice, really creamy head to it.
Colour's quite inviting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like amber malt.
Toasty notes.
You can definitely smell sort of wholemeal bread like we could smell on the mash tun earlier, can't you?
Oh, it's really good.
Of course, a big beer, isn't it?
It's a big beer.
It's a big beer.
It's thank goodness we toned it down from 1080 OG, because if we'd stuck at that, it would have been even bigger.
Yeah, it's not cloying though, is it? It's
No.
it's attenuated blood. It's not and bitter enough that it can take
Good.
the heft of it.
Yeah.
Assertive bitterness.
And there's a real coffee note to it.
There isn't actually. No.
Considering there's no real roasted malts, you know, it's amber's as dark as it goes. I think the bitterness kind of paired with that does give like a roasted coffee note.
It's not a. You can tell it's an old-fashioned style of beer or a style of beer that I've not really tasted before, because it doesn't taste like anything else that I've. It doesn't taste like anything else that you can go into the pub and buy, or a bottle that you know of. I don't know of another beer like this.
I agree with you. It isn't the kind of beer that we have nowadays.
No.
But that's the whole point. We've resurrected a beer from
Bring it back.
1893 to see what it was like. And even
How many shillings a hogshead would you have paid in duty on this?
well, I don't quite understand why it's called 68 shillings, because what do you normally have? 70, 80 and 90, and that was that the price of the hogshead or the duty on a hogshead?
duty was paid on a hogshead.
And so this is stronger than some of those, and yet it's at 68. It's a very specific number. I'd love to know the history behind that. What do you think you're getting from the hops then? Bit of what would you say? I'm thinking pithy orange sort of.
Did you say no dry hop on this one?
There's a dry hop.
There is a dry hop on this one.
Yeah. So then
It's an unusual hop flavour from the Goldings. I don't know whether it's the combination of that yeast with the hops or with the malt and the hops, but it's almost like there's that almost like pininess with it, which you don't normally get with Goldings.
What was the fermentation for this one?
how did it go?
Yeah.
It went fast. It went very fast in the Union set, and I think about 4 days it was over. But it did have quite a high finishing gravity, so there is a bit of sweetness in there.
And the pitch temp and the fermentation temp?
We pitched it at 20, but it went so mad that I turned it down to 18 and a half and then 17 and a half because it was still going mad. And it's still just carried on. The finishing gravity 1018, so it's quite high.
Quite high.
But I suppose it's got a lot of amber malt in.
Yeah.
But the sweetness doesn't ruin it, does it? It's not because you've got all that bitterness from the hop.
How many grams per litre of yeast did you pitch?
1 gram per litre.
1 gram per litre.
Yeah, because the OG was 106
Yeah,
something.
litre, yeah.
So that's the upper end of the range on your instructions, which I thought appropriate for the strength.
Pretty much bang on there.
So then B and C, I think we could probably sort of taste them together. So B is your standard fermentation, and C is the union set. So they've both got no dry hop.
Unitank.
So C is the union set.
There's a difference in the head on that beer as well. Is that in yours as well? Is it just mine?
Yeah, it's slightly less tight than this one.
Yeah.
Slightly more pronounced malty notes than my right hand on the C.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Showing better.
Yeah.
Or
Less
hop.
less hop.
Right.
Smoother, more
Yeah.
rounded,
Yeah.
we normally say. It's quite amazing that there is that difference, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because this is the same batch. It's just split up when it's for fermentation.
Same brew split into two fermented firsts. Wow. Okay.
And which would you prefer?
C for me.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Just that bit smoother, isn't it?
is.
Less harshness on the palate.
Don't get me wrong, I think these are delicious beer.
Yeah, I mean, if you walked into a pub and you had B and it was supposed to be the same beer, you wouldn't probably be able to tell. But when you have them side by side, you can sense the difference. And tomorrow, when you may or may not have a headache and you're putting 160 pieces together on the union set, wondering if it's worth it, then at least you know that there is a perceptible advantage from it.
160 pieces. Perfect.
Right, so now you've tasted them all. What's your answer about A, B, or C as your favourite?
I'm going for C. The reason I'm going for C is just because, as I said earlier, it's a bit more rounded. I think the assertive bitterness in A is quite a lot more than it is in C, and I think that it just makes me prefer C. I think it's just
Fair point.
you've lost some of that resinness that I was talking about with A, and I actually prefer it as this style of beer. It's absolutely delicious.
For me, I think the two that have come out of the union set are definitely better than B. But for me, it's A that just tips it, because I do quite like
You like
that.
that? Yeah.
And I think going from C to A, you do get more of that citrus from the hop,
Yeah.
and that's something that I quite like. I think it gives a bit of balance maybe to the residual sweetness that's there, but it's splitting hairs between A and C.
I agree with your take. I think A and C have outperformed there, judging by how much I've been going back to them. I'm leaning slightly towards C, but it's a very, very difficult decision. Really, really impressive lineup of beers. Sessionability, I think, wins it on C for me.
Yeah.
Keep coming back there. I could do more and more of that. Wish me luck.
Cheers.
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 Right, I suppose you're feeling fresh as a daisy this morning, are you, Rob?
Absolutely, I am, and what a great evening we had. It was brilliant atmosphere in here. We drunk a load of your... How many beers did you have on the bar?
Only 17.
17.
It's a bit limited.
17 beers that we tried most of, I think, and they were absolutely fantastic. But this morning we are here, fresh as a daisy, as you say, and we are now going to be putting together the Burton Union system.
Yep, so whilst you've been having your lie-in, I've put the taps together, I've washed the casks, and all we've got to do now is just put the 160 pieces together and then fill it from the fermenter and get the froth going.
Excellent, can't wait. Let's get cracking.
Super.
Yeah.
Richard, we've transferred all of our, is it wort or is it beer at this point? I'm not entirely sure.
It's beer, innit?
Yeah, well, it is fermenting, isn't it?
It's froth.
It's, yeah, really interesting transfer. Well, actually building the Union with you before we transferred everything in. That was great fun. It was like a grown-ups Meccano set.
Yeah, it's a labour of love, isn't it? I think you can't really comprehend the scale of the fiddling and messing around until you actually do it yourself.
Actually, having put it together, knowing the mechanics of it much better now, which is simply how it works. It is simple, but it's a lot of individual parts. But it's been really interesting putting it together.
And the reward is in the froth, Rob, because it's even though it's quite low temperature, it's only 17 degrees, and we're just going to heat it up to 18.5. Fermenting it quite low. It's still got really good activity, and it's not even 24 hours since it's pitched the yeast, is it?
Well, it was interesting coming back into the brewery this morning and seeing how much activity was in the airlock spunding valve on the uni tank.
Yeah.
Overnight, that yeast had really taken off.
Yeah, and this is the 5th beer that I've made with this yeast, and every time it's got going really quickly within a few hours and fermented out in just a few days. So it looks a really promising yeast. And yesterday, when we tasted them, we've got a diverse range of beers. We've got this sort of fairly heavy Scottish malt forward beer, and then quite a light hoppy one for the hop tester beer. So it seems quite versatile as well.
Yeah.
Which is encouraging, because the hop tester was quite clean in how it drank, and this one's really bringing the fruit forward in the malt and the hops as well. So interesting yeast. Could be a good strain to run in the brewery.
And we're finding that it's dropping clear really easily as well.
Correct, yeah. Because I haven't had the yeast long. All the beer we drank last night has been in cask no more than a week. So really great to see it clear and delicious.
I think under the right conditions, kept cool, you could use this yeast to create a really good, crisp West Coast IPA as well.
And Reiki suggested a Kolsch as well, so that would be another good experiment. So I'm obviously going to have to keep going with it.
Yeah. Speaking of experiments, this isn't the only union at Wheatlow Brewery now, is it?
Well, no, because we've been talking for a while about how to make a real proper homebrew size 20-litre batch of a union set. So I've had a go at a first draft, and the idea is that we can use stuff that's already available from your friendly homebrew shop, i.e. the malt miller, and so this is all entirely made out of Kegland bits and pieces, Oxybar 4-litre kegs times 5, giving you your 20 litres plus perhaps a litre or so for the top tray, and some food Tupperware type tubs from Tesco, and a few fittings, and we've got a bit of a union set going. But the beauty of it is, because you've got 5 Oxybar kegs, I thought what I'll do is repurpose those when I'm not using it to make a little portable kegerator in a cool box or something. So that'll be one of my next projects. And then dual use for the equipment, so it's not just for that. Like these, in this case, in my union set, the casks are just normal casks, so I can use those normally as well. So you're getting the most out of your capital expenditure.
The whole yeast experiment, getting the yeast early from WHC so that we can really get to grips with how it performs in the brew house, how it tastes in the beer, has been absolutely fantastic, and you've been a massive part of that, Richard. Thank you.
Yeah, really enjoyed it, and I think for a home brewer, if you can do it's easy for us in a way to do a series of experiments because we're smaller scale and we can produce beer after beer after beer, different ones, and so that's been really great. This is the 5th beer with this yeast, and I will do a few more, so any more new yeast, send them my way and we'll do some more.
Now, if you've got any questions whatsoever about this particular project, the yeast strain we've used, anything we've featured here today, please drop us a comment down below. We will get back to you, either Rob, I, or Richard. We'll take a look and come back to you on those comments. And as ever, if you have made it to the end of the video and you're not already subscribed to our channel or Wheatlow Brewery's YouTube channel, make sure that you hit the that you do subscribe, you hit the bell for notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Share the joy of home brewing.
Frothy nail.
Have a great brew.
Cheers.
Double sign off.